Yo. What's how we doing? Um the season is about to start. La Liga starts in let me see the date La Liga starts. I think La Liga is this weekend, isn't it? Or it's on like Tuesday. La Liga schedule. La Liga schedule is yes, this weekend is Friday. Oh my god! Wait, low key. La Liga usually starts after Premier League. How is it starting on the same day? I'm watching that first game, by the way. Oh my god, it's starting on the same day. Vamos! Vamos, carajo! Vamos! Anyways, so I want to do a quick preview, and ski view of how I think teams should play going into this season and how I think they will play, like what I think they will probably do compared to what I think they should do. And this is not really based off anything, it's just based off because preseason counts to an extent because you can see the things they try to tweak. And I'm only going to talk about teams that have obviously watched some preseason games, if they even played any. Not every team has played preseason games. But like Madrid just played today, so I'm going to do Madrid zone. Because I was trying to see what would have changed since the Club World Cup. These dudes are so cocky. They're saying, "Oh my God, we got 15 Champions League, bitch," and they fuck off. Anyways, I'm sorry for that vulgarity. Look at their lineup. They have Thibaut Courtois. They have Lunin. Carvajal is back, malicious. Alaba, right back like I'm Trent. Asensio de Pido. Carreras. Garcia, the madman. Mendy and Hoytson. Class signing, by the way. Class signing. They have Belligo, Kamal, Valverde, Chouameni, Zagot. I think he will have an insane season because I think he's the type of player that Alonso likes. Like, he's not exactly like Wirtz, but it's that same mode of player. Those type of cams that could control the pace a little bit, but they could also just give you those passes and break down defenses and techie also. And Ceballos. Then this is where there's a bit of a misconstruction. Fini, Babagba, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Gonzalo. This is the guy they bought from I think River Plate or where, I can't remember. And this guy. So how does this work together? How does this work in a way that will favor Madrid? I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you. Because if we go off history, right, and we go off strongest 11, Madrid is going to be yellow here. I'd say Rudiger, Hoytson, and I don't know, probably not Asensio, probably Malicious, right? Militao. Right back like I'm Trent. Carreras. You see, these 5 positions, big problem. Because, okay, let's say he does this, right? Because he plays with 3 forwards. Basically, 2 CMs and 2, like, cams. Not necessarily forwards and 1 striker. This is a big problem for Madrid because let's assume these positions are filled by straight-out defensive players, So you have to field Valverde, Chouameni, Belligo. Camavinga could probably sit on the bench. Those 3 players, I don't know how they play together. Like, even if you do this, and you have Mbappe and Vinicius up top, it will still be a struggle of 2 of them just staying here the whole game and trying to have to carry a lot on this side, and maybe Belligo keeps making darting runs down the side. That's why I think it will look like if he goes this way, right? And then if he goes the other route of because Bellingham has to play. You're not benching Bellingham. There's no fucking way, right? So I assume this is Bellingham, this is Mbappe, this is Vinicius. Like I said, it will just go down. Someone have to like literally carry all the offense on this side, and like Trent is probably good enough to be whipping. But if everybody's on one side, it's kind of against the good opponent. I don't know how much you'd get out of that. So on the other hand, I'm thinking, what if he goes with instead of the same formation, but instead of Bellingham and Mbappe and Vinicius, you have Mbappe here, Vinicius plays here, and Carvajal could play. What the fuck am I saying? That's not even going to work because Carvajal plays this side. He literally carries all the offense on this side, and they have like a center back here that can cover here, and just cover for this guy, cover all the defensive duties here, basically. And if you do that, you probably have to play two strong fullback. So you need and Valverde. I don't know how well Valverde can play on this side, but it's Valverde, bro. That dude can do anything. You might have Valverde cover for here like that Rakitic role, right? And you have Chouameni here, you have Belligo, you have Mbappe. So you have Belligo, Mbappe, Vinicius, which will make the offense here a bit much, but this dude be able to provide like decent cover here, right? You have Chouameni here. You have Belligo playing down the middle to some extent. And then Trent here, and that leaves you with whoever you want to put here. This is where I think Adagula will shine. That dude, I'm telling you, that dude is bro. That Barca almost bought that dude, and things fell apart. The same way we almost bought Estaval, things fell apart. Brokenness is a horrible thing, but we'll survive. But this is probably the only like because it's Madrid, they don't need to have like overly their style of play would obviously change now. But I think with the way the players they have, they will still overload somewhere, which is probably always going to be here. Because even I'll come to today's game anyways. But I'll explain why I still think this overload is going to continue happening all year long, and why Bellingham making darting runs and cutting this way and cutting this way, and Adegola probably not making runs, but being the person to break the line with the passes, if you know what I mean, would be very important. Because obviously, if Mbappe and Vinicius are playing down this side, that's like you're going to put more defenders towards them. That leaves space for brother here to make runs, brother here to make passes. Even he can make runs, he can also make runs. And if you're pressing all these people, that will always leave space for Valverde to just boom from outside, right? And this brother here could also be very useful in the sense of if you have two people far post his Trent, he will find them. That's just him. He will find them, right? So I think that's the best play for Madrid in my head, just based on how they play. Although I don't still know how it might work out better in reality than in my head. But how it works against big teams is what would determine if it's a feasible tactic to use. Because defensively, I'd imagine if you have three dudes just sat here and Chouameni doesn't do too much, he doesn't overly, he literally just plays purely defensive midfield, right? And Valverde slaps that box machine on and he's just like, yeah. Obviously, he's going to have to like provide a lot of cover for Vinicius. But yeah, that's the best way I see working out. But on the flip side, based on how they played in the friendly they played today, right? It was 4-3-3 or 4-2-1-3. Was it? Oh wait, what was it today? It was 4-3-3. It wasn't 4-2-1-3, was it? Give me 1 second. Where's FootMob? Sorry. Trying to see how they played. What was their lineup? It was 4-3-3. Well, this is obviously 4-2-1-3. I doubt. I think he's techie also, but I don't see him getting this team over Goulet because I genuinely think Goulet is way better than he is. and obviously they need to play. He's probably not going to play as much, and Valverde also has to play. You know what I mean? So I'd imagine it's this guy Valverde, Belligo, and Goulet up top. But now, assuming they play that formation in real time, right, with their best squad or whatever, at least from what I can see, not based on what. Obviously, I'm not watching their trainings or anything. Even if you watch trainings, you couldn't still tell. But based on what I think, from what I saw today, and even still today, which is why I said they'll still overload this side. Bro, Mbappe was standing here at one point. There was nobody down the middle. Vinicius was here, Mbappe was here, and I can't remember. Goulet was around here. And although they were really high up on the pitch, though, it was like although they played like the people they played were basically robots. It's like the people Barca played in preseason, to be honest. So this central position is still something to feast on. You know what I mean? It's still something to feast on because these dudes are going to overload here, and they are not going to just leave Mbappe to stand or Vinicius to stand, and maybe even that's true enough. If the fullback somewhat joins and Valverde is like cover, let's say Valverde doesn't cover or he joins, either way, that's too many players on one side of the pitch to hold. And then imagine having Bellingham running down the middle and Goulet, who's meant to be the winger, but he's going to play as an interior more than a winger, to be honest, if he does play right wing over Brahim Diaz. He's just going to make these runs or make those passes. It's going to be the same sense of attack, but it might be more offensive because obviously the fullbacks have to. It's Trent. Trent is not going to stay back, and Carrera is also like very offensively minded. He's very good defensively, I think, but no, I think I seen him play against Barca twice, but he will also go. He will also attack. Do you know what I mean? So imagine he's going forward. You have Hoitzin and let's say Rudiger here. You have Schwameni. Wait, these numbers are kind of stupid. Fuck. Oh my god. Ooh, brother, 7-2. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, let's do that. Wait. Something's missing. Okay, Valverde, 8. Mbappe, Vinicius, Goulet. Oh my god, I've messed this up so bad. All right, I'm sorry. Now it makes sense. This makes much more sense. So fullback, you're still going to have to cover Mbappe, and then there's Vinicius also. Someone's going to have to cover. If this dude overlaps, right, someone will have to follow. You follow that run. That's one person on him. You're still going to have to look at this. Like there's too much to, especially with the ability that these players I called have. Brahim Diaz, I don't think is that much of a passer like Ada Goulet. Ada Goulet is, bro. I'm telling you, Ada Goulet would literally be a game changer. I think under Xabi Alonso. So that's what I think will happen. I think if he goes forward, he kind of covers a little bit and provides the option. Obviously, if the ball, like how Barca plays, basically the ball rotates, but Goulet is going to play more interior than exterior, and trying to have like it's basically like flipped of how Barca plays. If you think about it, because Goulet will play interior more, right? Like Rafa does, but he'll be more of a creator than Rafa. I can imagine. Rafa is a very great creator, but I think he has more finesse to his technique, obviously, than Rafa. And then on this side, you just have Vinicius and Mbappe just fucking the shit up. That's why I think they will play like this season, and I think that will also work to an extent because it works for Barca. Although I think quality-wise, in like the depth of players we have is better than the depth of players they have. Starting 11, I think their starting 11 might be well individually, yes. As a team, hell no, smoking those fools. But yeah, I think their problem might come from squad depth because if you think about it, well, they have enough forwards actually. Yeah, they do have enough forwards. Hopefully, Rodrigo doesn't go. If he goes to Man City, tough. I really think Rodrigo. I've said it before. I think Rodrigo has a better ceiling, a higher ceiling than Vinicius if he plays down the left wing of course. If he plays down the right wing, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. Brian Diaz could be all right sometimes, but it's not something to look forward to. Midfield: Ceballos, Camavinga. What? That's all. No. I'm sure there's academy players they just haven't shown. They have depth in defense, though. I'll say that. But oh, brother, Alaba and Carvajal in big 2025. Yeah, even Mendy in 2025 seems like a lost cause. But I guess that's the whole point of Carrera, so Mendy can get some rest, and Trent and this brother can swap, and even Alaba could play midfield too, low key if he really like wanted to. So yeah, they do have depth. I think their team is fine. I think they're fine. I'm very curious to see how he tweaks everything. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel or what you think about that. I genuinely think their team is fine. And I'm very curious to watch Madrid this season, unlike last season. Last season and season before I could give two fucks because I knew exactly how they played. Nothing. But from nowhere, boom, 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 go, boom, boom, go, boom, go. Come off it. But anyways, yeah. GG's, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.